Rich man locked up autistic girl until a German shepherd found out. The rain had already stopped falling when Amelia disappeared. She wasn't like the other kids in her neighborhood, not loud, not social, not easy to keep track of. She was quiet, gentle, always scribbling lines with chalk on the sidewalk or humming to herself under her breath. The neighbors called her sweet, a little strange. Her mother knew the word, autistic, nonverbal, fragile in some ways, but stronger in silence than most people ever understood. But that afternoon, she didn't come home. She had wandered farther than usual, past the playground, through the grove of trees, across the empty lot no one mowed anymore. That's when she saw it. A long driveway that disappeared into tall hedges, flanked by black metal gates that clicked shut when no one was looking. And beyond the gates, a mansion, stone walls, a fountain without water, and silence. She walked through the side fence unnoticed. She didn't know the rules. She just saw a bird, then a flower, then a path, and then she was gone. The estate belonged to Victor Lorne, a wealthy man known only by his money and the silence around it. He'd made his fortune in tech security, lived alone, no family, no kids, just staff, privacy, and a German shepherd named Brutus. Victor didn't believe in charity. He didn't open his gates for anyone. So when his cameras caught a barefoot little girl walking through his orchard that evening, he didn't panic. He acted. "She's trespassing," he muttered. "No one's going to sue me for this." He sent his groundskeeper to handle it. But when the man hesitated, Victor grabbed the flashlight and stormed down himself. By the time he found her, Amelia was crouched near a bush, tracing circles in the dirt with her finger, whispering something soundless to the leaves. Victor didn't ask questions. He didn't call the police. He dragged her by the arm toward the back of the estate, toward a forgotten brick shed left behind by old caretakers. A solid, windowless box, no ventilation, one steel door. He shoved her inside. "She'll learn," he muttered, locking the door. "She'll stay put. Then I'll call someone." But he never did. Days passed, and no one knew where Amelia had gone. The only one who saw her after that was Brutus. The shepherd had been standing at the edge of the eastern yard when Victor returned from the shed. It saw the sweat on the man's neck. It saw the red scratches on his wrist, and though dogs don't speak, they remember. That night, Brutus paced the edge of the property. The next night, he didn't sleep. He stood at the rusted door, nose to the hinges, ears forward. Inside, Amelia sat alone in the dark. She hadn't screamed. She didn't know how. Her world was a place of texture, motion, and quiet. The walls were cold. The air was dry. Her fingernails scratched at the bricks just to feel something familiar. But when she looked up, she saw him. A black muzzle, two golden eyes. Brutus, peering through a tiny barred window in the wall, just big enough for a pair of eyes to see through. He didn't bark. He didn't move. He just watched her. Every night after, he came back. Victor noticed the dog's behavior change. "Stop it," he hissed, dragging the shepherd back toward the main house. "You don't bark at shadows. It's a doghouse, not a damn chapel." But Brutus returned, again and again. Each time, Amelia's red eyes looked up through tears. Her hands traced the wall, her arms, now scraped and raw, wrapped around her knees. But the dog never left, and she began to respond, not with words, but with her hand, gently tapping the brick where he waited. Tap, pause, tap. It wasn't barking, it wasn't screaming, But it was communication. It was a signal. Brutus understood, and that's when he knew he had to act. The third night came with thunder. A cold wind tore through the trees surrounding Victor Lorne's estate. Rain hammered the metal roofs. The staff had gone home early. The power flickered, but Brutus didn't move from his post. He stood at the edge of the old brick shed again, eyes fixed on the small barred window. Inside, Amelia sat shivering, her tears silent now, her energy fading. The wounds on her arms had dried into scabs. Her head leaned against the wall. Her lips parted, but no sound came, and then the tapping stopped. Brutus stood still. Then he growled, low, deep, not from aggression, but from something deeper. Instinct. He turned and ran. Through the orchard, past the gates, down the muddy slope of the east fence. He squeezed under the loose wire and bolted toward the neighboring property. The next morning, a farmhand named Clay was getting ready to feed his chickens when he saw a strange sight. A drenched German shepherd standing in the middle of his driveway. It wasn't barking. It wasn't aggressive. It just stared at him, then turned, took a few steps, and looked back. "What you want, boy?" Brutus took off again, stopped, waited. Curious and uneasy, Clay followed. The dog led him through the side road that bordered the Lorne estate, then toward the east wall, then to the shed. Brutus pawed at the door, scratched it, whimpered once. Clay frowned. "What the hell's in there?" He looked around. No signs, no cameras, just bricks, a rusted lock, and silence. Then something caught his eye, a small hand, pale, weak, reaching through the bars, and inside a girl's face, tears, dried blood, barely moving. The call went out within minutes. Police, EMTs, fire rescue. Victor Lorne was pulled from his study still in slippers, shouting about trespassing and false accusations. But when they cut open the steel door and stepped inside, all the shouting stopped. There she was, barefoot, bruised, barely able to lift her head. And the dog? He was the first to step into the room. He didn't bark. He didn't jump. He simply walked in, stood beside her, and sat down, guarding her like he had been doing for days in silence. Amelia blinked once and then smiled. She reached her trembling hand forward and laid it gently on Brutus's head. She didn't need to speak. He already knew what it meant. The media called it a miracle. Loyal dog saves missing girl. Rich tech mogul arrested after shocking discovery. Rescued German shepherd outsmarts billionaire owner. But for those who knew the story, it wasn't about heroism or headlines. It was about a girl no one listened to. A girl who couldn't cry for help, but still found a way to be heard. Through one silent companion, one protector with 4 legs, and a memory no one gave credit to. Brutus was retired from the estate immediately. He was adopted by Amelia's family. From that day on, he never left her side. Months later, during a quiet spring morning, Amelia sat in the backyard cradling a notebook in her lap. She still didn't speak much, but now she drew. And every drawing had a dog, a big golden-eyed shepherd. In one picture, the bars of a window, her hand reaching out, and the dog waiting, patient, loyal, the one who didn't walk away. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.